When it comes to formatting the appearance of an Excel spreadsheet, there are no rules. It depends on the type of data, who it is for, and how much time you have to devote to formatting it. There are numerous reasons. Let's have a look at a data set that we discussed in the previous module. Let's copy it across. And let's try to format it. So what we see over here is we have revenue and expenses for the months from January through June. So the first thing that we can do over here is we can type in financial data over here in cell A2. And in the font section, you will see that we have a number of options. So we can make it bold, we can italicize the text, and even underline it if we need to. The other thing is, when we talk about formatting cells, it needs to look neat. So we can select all the months and we can align it by using the options that we have over here. If I click on this option, make sure the data is in the center of the cell. If I click on this option, it's going to align to the left side. We can even middle align the data set. So it really depends on what works for you and how does the data look on a spreadsheet. I usually prefer to center align the data, especially when we are looking at financial data. We can also make the data bigger or smaller. So if I select these line items, I can change the font size. I can make it smaller as well. And we can also change the color of the font. We can make it blue or orange or gray. So we have a number of options at our disposal. We can even color the cells. So let's go with this option for now. Let me share another interesting feature of Excel. You don't need to format the data by clicking on each and every cell. You can format the entire row by selecting the row number. So let's say we want to format row number 4. We can change the color of the text in this row and we can make it red. And for revenue, we can change it to green. So the entire row of data updates based on what you want to do. It's also worth spending some time on the merge and center functionality. So let me copy and paste this data set over here. And instead of typing financial data in cell A8, I want to make sure that it's merged across these highlighted cells because at the end of the day, the data underneath is all financial data. So what I can do is I can select the cells where I want the financial data to be merged across. I go in the merge and center option and I click merge across. So as you can see, this data set is now merged, but in order to make it look a little nicer, I can center align it, and there you go. This looks much better than this. It's far clearer. Let's now talk about the Excel data types and why they are important. This is an excellent example because it contains a wide range of data types. We have text, we have numbers, we have dates, and we even have some formulas. When you enter data into a cell, Excel does an excellent job of determining which data type to use. For instance, if I type in a word, let me type my own name, UMAR, I'll press the Enter key and the text will remain its left aligned. This indicates that it is simply treating it as a text string. However, notice when I enter a number, I'll press the Enter key and the text will remain to the right. That is how Excel determines whether the field is a number or a value. That is, a date, an integer, a time, a currency, or any other type of value that isn't a straight text field. It's significant because it determines what kind of formula or function you can perform on that cell. For example, if I go to the Formulas ribbon, let me click on this cell and go to the Formulas ribbon. We have a number of options available. If I go in the Financial Formulas, these are all the formulas that I can perform using this data set. We can also perform various functions on text, such as transforming text directly in a cell. You can perform calculations using date and time data as well. But Excel must understand what type of data set it's dealing with. And that's why the alignment within a cell helps Excel determine the data set. Let's look at these dates over here. Dates can be entered in a variety of ways. So let me type in a date, for example. As you can see, it's perfectly centered. In fact, if I go over to the formula bar, I can see that the date has been expanded. I have the year, I have the month, and I have the day. Excel will adjust the dates based on the locale you have selected. So let me look at a time as well. We can also enter time in a variety of ways. Let's say I enter 17:55 p.m. As you can see, it's right aligned once more. And if I look at the formula bar, we see the PM after the time. You always have the option of selecting and formatting the data cell that you want. So let's highlight this field over here. So amount. Let me go to the home ribbon tab. And over here, we can see that the formatting is set to general. This denotes the number format, and currently it's set to general. I can easily change it to currency, and the entire data set converts to currency automatically. I can also change the number of decimals used. Currently, the data shows 2 decimal places. If I click on this button, it will increase the number of decimals, and clicking on the decrease decimal button is going to decrease the number of decimals. If you look at this column, the days since issue, there are some formulas in here, but these are very simple formulas. This cell, for example, denotes the number of days since the ticket number was issued. It's a simple formula that subtracts today's date from the value in this cell when the ticket number was issued. And these are the types of calculations that can be performed when the type is properly set. So keep an eye out in the back of your mind for anything that doesn't seem right. For example, I just typed in time, but it's left aligned. So it seems that Excel has not recognized that I was putting in time. However, if I put in a space over here, it's going to be right aligned again. Excel recognizes that it is indeed time and adjusts accordingly. We have a number of options available to format data and ensure that it's readable. We can also save valuable time if we understand the different data types and format accordingly.